Yeah, I agree. You know, another thing with the economy is, at least here locally in my area, they're trying to cut school days back to 4 days a week.
Did they want to go? Did they want to do 4 days and do an extra hour or something like that?
No, they're not. They're not even going to change hours. They're just going to continue on with school just 4 days. They're just trying to cut it back.
Great. That's a great way to get out of this economic slump. So people that live in third world countries know math and science better than the kids in the United States do. So now we're gonna cut school days. Oh, good idea.
You know, and
government's nuts.
There's already schools. I mean, I went to a school for a while here that it was like you only went 4 days a week anyways, but most of those days were half days. So, I mean, they already are trying to cut stuff back. And to top it off, with them cutting school days back for the kids, they aren't even talking about cutting the teachers' pay.
Well, yeah, it's a vicious cycle. And then what happens, and then the problem is you got latchkey kids. You got kids that are coming home. I'll tell you what, because when I was in like third or fourth grade, both my parents were working all day, and if we had a half day or something, we got home and I had my brother was three years and a couple months older than me. My sister was like a year, like 13 months older than me, and it was like war every day at home after school. They would, you know, because there's nobody around. Who's supposed to supervise all these kids?
Yeah.
What do these parents got to pay for, like an after-school program now?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because parents used to love it when their kids finally went to first grade, so they'd be gone all day so the parent could work.
That's true.
You know, it's like our big babysitter system is falling down as we speak.
Yeah, but you know. It's just sad. Look at all the stuff that's going on. I mean, like you said, car plants are shutting down, all sorts of different stuff.
Everything's shutting down. Everybody's downsizing. It's so bad. And what kills me is that Wall Street, all the guys that stole all this money are now making more money off of it, knowing full well that it's going to tank again, worse than it did this time. I think it's probably going to start. It's starting like August or September, where all these new balloon mortgages, all those people that got mortgages, they gave a mortgage to a $400,000 mortgage to a lady that was like a waitress that made $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
You can't do. They had a good thing on like Dateline or something. In the last 3 out of the last 4 weeks, they like exposed how, that person, they had underwriters for insurance companies, which means the underwriters is supposed to look at it and say, all right, yeah, this person can handle this payment. But they were taking the underwriters, like the insurance, like the real estate agents, were taking them out to strip clubs and stuff like that and plying them with alcohol, giving them gifts. So these guys would let all these applications for loans go in, which makes the real estate guy they do 6% in Pennsylvania. I don't know where it is where you guys are, but if you get a $500,000 house, if you buy one in Pennsylvania or in Delaware, that they get 6%. They get 6% of that. You know what I mean? They're getting their 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 out of it, and what they do is they'll pocket a couple grand, they'll spend a couple hundred, and go entertain these, and get them strippers too, strippers and cocaine. They found this one company that's what they were doing, and obviously that company received $100 billion of bailout money.
Wow.
That's a joke. That first we gave them $750 billion, and we didn't ask for any accountability. They've got like 30 people under investigation right now for the fraud of some of that $700 billion. Now they just came back, and now they want another 75. They want another 75 million, but it's really going to cost them another $1 trillion to get us out of this sinkhole. And the real sad thing is that Obama's going to get blamed for it, but it was really Bush and his dad that did it to us.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what else, you know. I mean, everything's going up in price, even though it should be going down because of the economy. It's weird.
Inflation, yeah, that's what happens when you have inflation and deflation, like going against each other. Like if you're constricting jobs or if they're getting smaller and prices are getting higher, you're in a very bad situation economically.
Yeah, I would agree. Baby doll, any comments?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's like basic like economics, you know, and it's not just the United States; it's happening all over the globe.
Yeah, all I can say is like with Bush. Whenever I was growing up, he ran for Senate in the district I was in Texas, and he couldn't even win the Senate race. Whenever I was growing up, because people knew that he was no good, he couldn't handle this money. His daddy gave him like 300 cows. And I mean, if you can't make money, you know, buying and selling cows, then you can't make money. And he lost it all. And his dad gave him the cows to do business with.
I think his dad tried him in like 5 different business ventures, and he failed miserably at all of them. So he's like, that's all right. You're good enough to be president. We'll help your brother Jeb down in Florida help steal the election. And we'll use the guy Blackwell in Ohio, and because they were the 2 swing states for your electoral votes. But really, more people voted for Al Gore than voted for George Bush in that first election.
Well, it was just how the electoral college went, though.
Right, but it's happened before. I think Taft. For some reason, I want to say it was Taft in like 1908 or something. I think it was 1908 maybe. That you could win the popular vote, but you could not become our president. Now, is that a democracy? No. Yeah, that's not a democracy at all. Because in certain states, like if you're in California, suppose there's 100 people in California that are voting. If 51 of them vote one way and 49 go the other way, that means all the votes go the way that the 51 said. So the 49 don't really get represented at all. Now Colorado's going to split it up, I think, next presidential election. I think it's either 7 or 9 electoral votes. But it's going to directly reflect, listen, if 3 out of 10 voted Democratic, then they're going to get the 3, and the rest are going to go instead of all of them in one lump sum. It was actually pretty ingenious by our forefathers to put that in there because they had to figure, listen, we're making up our own government. How can we make it so they think it's a democracy, but it's really not a democracy, and we can keep the money in the right family's hands for generations and generations to come. And that's exactly what they did. They did. It's a joke. And then it's like in England, what they did was they found out about America. They shipped the slaves over from Africa to work the fields in America, and just to make money. And I guess it's good if you're on one end of the cycle, but it's not good at all if you're on the other end.
Well, the Doodler in the chat room wants to know if you support what Obama's doing to help the economy.
I think that he's doing the best he can right now, but they need to infuse twice as much as they already have. And tell him that if he really cares to watch Kramer on Fast Money on CNN, he can even explain it better than me.
Understandable.
What do you think about lifting the trade with Cuba, opening up Cuba for us?
Okay, and here's the only reason why this is happening. Fidel Castro's dead. He hasn't been seen in public in like almost 2 years. His brother's been running the country. So Castro's dead, but they're worried about having like some kind of coup down there, or some kind of with Haiti and the Dominican Republic, how they had a war down there. So they don't even want to say that Castro is dead, but he's definitely dead. His brother's running it, and we're figuring that we could get some cheap import-export out of it. I mean, think about this. Just since 1959, when Castro first took over Cuba, same year Tiananmen, same year Tibet was taken over by China, A couple other things happened in that year too. But